So come to a comfortable seat on your mat. And we're going to start today in Hakini Mudra. It's a mudra for concentration. And all you have to do is bring all of your fingertips together like this. And think about pushing your fingertips equally in towards each other. And you can have your hands floating in space, or you can rest them down on your lap. And once you get there, sit up nice and tall, lengthening through the crown of your head. And exhale, gently floating your eyes closed. Lowering your shoulders away from your ears. And just come into this space, noticing any sounds around you. Maybe you hear the birds chirping outside or the wind rapping against your window. And then begin focusing on your physical sensations of the sit bones pressing down into the floor. Just noticing your body in space. Coming to that sense of weight as your body sits on your mat. And then shifting that physical sensation to the rise and fall of your chest or your belly, wherever you feel your breath when you inhale and exhale. And once you have your attention on the physical fall and rise of your chest, go ahead and shift your attention inside, focusing on the quality of your breath. Whether it's shallow or deep, long or short. And without control, just noticing and feeling into the rise and fall as you breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Beep. And today I'm going to read from the Yoga Sutras. Yoga Sutra 3.1. Dharana is the binding of the mind to one place, object, or idea. When the chittam, or sum total of the mind, is being bound by one thing, or bound in one place, it is in dharana. In other words, in dharana, you are training the mind. It is the beginning of meditation. Concentration is the beginning of meditation, and meditation is the culmination of concentration. They are more or less inseparable. Normally, we see our mind running here and there. When we try to fix it on one thing within a fraction of a second, we see it somewhere else. We get distracted. Imagine you just want to fix the mind on a beautiful rose. Concrete objects, symbols, or images are more helpful for beginning our practice of concentration. But today I'd like you to think of an object that you can focus on throughout class today that will help you come into focus. And this focus presents itself in our gaze, or drishti. In the sutra, Patanjali refers it as tradak. And the meaning of tradak is actually gazing at something, sometimes without even blinking. But instead of straining your eyes, you're just gently gazing down towards the floor or towards this object. And so I'd like you to choose that object today, whatever that is for you. And as you sit here with your fingertips pressing in towards each other, imagine that that object is sitting in front of your mat. And keeping your eyes still closed, I invite you to set an intention for your practice today. This can be a compliment to your object of gazing. And once you have it, just go ahead and repeat it to yourself 3 times, beginning to synchronize your words with your breath. Breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. and taking this time to drop into your Ujjayi breath, your breath of fire, by creating a slight constriction at the back of your throat. And when you feel ready, go ahead and float open your eyes and release your mudra, wiggling your fingers. And we'll come to roll over onto the hands and knees to start in tabletop. And once you get there, you can let the tops of your feet rest on your mat, or you can curl your toes under, whatever feels more comfortable for you. The important thing is that your shoulders are stacked above your wrists and your hips are stacked above your knees. And once you're here, take an inhale, lengthening through the crown of your head as you reach your tailbone down towards the floor, bringing your navel in to turn on your core. And then inhale, begin to drop the belly down towards the floor as your gaze lifts up towards the ceiling. And exhale, push the floor away as you round into your upper spine, letting the crown of your head go. Inhale, belly down, head and chest lifts up. Exhale, push the floor away, rounding into your upper spine, coming into cat. One more round. Inhale, belly down, head and chest lifts up. And exhale, push the floor away, rounding into your upper spine, coming into cat. And then inhale, shift back to a neutral spine, making sure that you're reaching the crown of your head forward. And we'll go ahead and play with some balance here. So on your next inhale, turn your core on by bringing your navel in, nice and strong. And then on your next inhale, reach your right arm forward as you reach your left foot back in space. And you can leave your toes on the floor, or you can lift your heel, coming into one long line from your right fingertips all the way through your left heel. Take an inhale and exhale. 2 more breaths. Navel comes in nice and strong. Inhale and exhale. 1 more breath. Inhale and exhale. Go ahead and lower your right hand, lowering your left knee, resetting your tabletop. And then we'll shift over to the other side now. So inhale, reach your left arm forward as you reach your left foot back in space. And again, you can keep your toes down, or you can lift up, creating a nice long line from your left fingertips this time, all the way through your right heel. Inhale and exhale. 2 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. 1 more breath. Inhale and exhale. Go ahead and lower your left hand down as you press your right knee down. And then bring your knees out wide, big toe mounds come together, and press back to Balasana, or child's pose. Just for a few breaths. Keeping this as an active child's pose, press your fingers down into the floor, almost as if you're pressing forward with your whole hand. Reaching your sit bones down towards your heels. Breathing into the space in between your hips and the vertebrae of your spine. Creating a nice hollow shape in your armpits. And when you're ready, keeping that hollow shape and pressing down through your hands, lift up, curling your toes, and send your hips up and back, coming to downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. And you can keep your knees bent if this is the first down dog of the day. I know it is for me, so be gentle with yourself. You can give a gentle walk, bending one knee, straightening the other, and then switching. And then once you've had enough, come back to center, reaching your heels down towards the floor, still pressing through your hands, specifically through the inside arch of your hand, towards your thumb and index finger. Take 1 more deep breath in here. And exhale. And then inhale to gaze forward, and exhale, step or walk towards your hands. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana. Your hands can come to your shins. And exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, with a flat back, reach your arms out wide and up, Urdhva Hastasana, reaching your hands up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, lower your hands down by your sides, coming back to Samastitihi. We'll settle into our Tadasana, or equal standing pose now, by pressing down into the feet. So gently closing your eyes, imagining that object on the floor in front of your mat, letting your eyelids float closed if you haven't done so already, and think about energetically reaching your fingertips down towards the floor as your feet make contact. Press into the inside and outside arches of your feet. And then root down through your feet to rise up all the way through your pelvis, creating a nice neutral spine, lengthening your tailbone down towards the floor, bringing your navel in nice and strong, lengthening through the crown of your head as you stand up as tall as you can. Take another deep breath in and exhale. And then when you're ready, gently floating your eyes open. We'll take another inhale to reach your arms up towards the ceiling, or Savasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, and step back to plank. Inhale in your plank. Exhale, shift forward and lower down, Chaturanga, elbows in. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale, curling your toes, lifting your hips, coming to downward facing dog. We'll spend 5 breaths here in your down dog. Pressing the floor away, inhale. And exhale. That's 1. Inhale. And exhale. 2, strong arms, strong legs. Inhale. And exhale. Lengthening your tailbone up and back. Inhale. And exhale. That's 4. 1 more breath. In through your nose. And out through your nose. And then inhale to gaze forward. And exhale, step or tiptoe your way towards your hands, taking your time to get there. Once you do, inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, coming up with a flat back, arms up, heart up, look up, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, lower your hands down by your sides, coming back to equal standing, Samastitihi. We'll do that again. Inhale, arms up, heart up, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up, halfway lengthen. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, and step back to plank. Pause in your plank on the inhale. Exhale, shift forward and lower down, Chaturanga. You can also bring your knees to the floor. Inhale, lift up, cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, curling your toes, lifting your hips, coming back to downward facing dog. We'll do another round of 5 breaths. Inhale and exhale. If at any time you need to come down, you can bend your knees towards the floor and send your hips back to child's pose. Inhale and exhale. That's 2. Inhale and exhale. 3. Inhale and exhale. 4. Inhale and exhale for 5. On your next inhale, gaze forward, and exhale, step or tiptoe your way towards your hands once again. Inhale to lift up, halfway lengthen, and exhale to fold. Inhale, coming up with a flat back, arms reach out wide and up, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, lowering your hands down by your sides, coming into Samastitihi. We'll move on. Inhale, bend into your knees, swoop your arms forward, coming into chair pose. And we'll hang out here in chair. So if your feet are together, your knees are together, and if your feet are apart, your knees are apart. Take an inhale to sit lower, reaching your fingertips up in space. And then as you exhale, can you bring your hands together and lower them down through heart center? We're going to move into Pavrita Utkatasana, or twisted chair. So we're going to start with the left elbow. Inhale, lengthen up through the crown of your head. And then exhale, initiating the twist at your navel, reach your left elbow towards the outside of your right knee. Press through your hands, broadening in your collarbones. reaching the crown of your head forward in space. Breathing in through your nose and exhale through your nose. 2 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. 1 more deep breath in. Exhale, gaze down towards the floor. And then inhale, come back up to center. And exhale, press to stand. You can shake your legs out if you need to. And then right away on the next inhale, bend into your knees, swooping your arms forward, entering chair pose once again. Take another deep breath in to lengthen. And then exhale, hands come down through heart center. Take another inhale, sitting lower in your hips here. And then we'll initiate the twist at your navel, this time bringing the right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Pressing into your knee, into your hands to broaden in your collarbones. Gazing towards the side wall. Breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. 2 more breaths. Sit lower in your hips. Inhale and exhale. 1 more deep breath in. Exhale, gaze down towards the floor. Inhale, come back to center. And then exhale, shift forward, lowering the crown of your head down, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen. Exhale, bend into your knees, plant your hands, and you can step or hop toward your plank. Inhale here. Exhale, shift forward, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, curling your toes, lifting your hips, coming to downward facing dog. Right away, inhale, lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bend your right knee in toward your chest and plant it in between your hands. Leave your left hand planted down. Encourage your right hip to come back in space. You can use your right thumb to do so. And then on your next inhale, reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. Twisted high lunge. Pressing down through your right foot and through the left ball mound of your foot, reaching your left heel back in space. Think about broadening in your collarbones as you press down through your left hand to reach up through your right fingertips. Take 1 more breath. Inhale. And exhale, gaze down towards the floor. Take another deep breath in, reaching your right fingertips up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, plant your right hand, step back to plank. You can flow through your vinyasa or shift your hips up and back. Exhaling to lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, curling your toes, lifting your hips, coming back to downward facing dog. Inhale, your left leg lifts. Exhale, bend your left knee in toward your chest. Plant it in between your hands. Leave your right hand where it is. And this time, inhale, reaching toward your left hip, encouraging it to come back in space. And then on your next inhale, reaching your left fingertips up towards the ceiling. Your gaze can come towards the side wall. Broadening in your collarbones as you root down through your right hand, reaching up through your left fingertips. Keeping your gaze soft, bending into your left knee any amount more. 1 more breath. Inhale. And exhale, gaze down towards the floor. And then inhale to reach up with your left fingertips any amount more. And then exhale, lower your left hand down. Step back to plank. We'll flow through the vinyasa again. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, curling your toes, lifting your hips, coming back to downward facing dog. Again, if you need to, you can bring your knees down, hips sitting back toward your heels, entering child's pose. Come back to your breath. Notice its quality. Taking a moment here to breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Great job. We're going to move on. Inhale, your right leg lifts. Exhale, bend your right knee in toward your chest and plant it in between your hands. This time we're going to come up to high crescent lunge, Vinyasa. So you can reach your fingertips up towards the ceiling, or you can bring your hands down to your hips And if you bring your hands down, can you encourage your frontal hip point to lift up off of your front thigh? Root down through your right foot, bending into your right knee, ensuring that it's stacked above your ankle or slightly behind. Inhale, reach your arms up in space once again. And then exhale, shift your upper body forward, creating a beautiful diagonal line from your left heel all the way through your fingertips. Navel comes in nice and strong, feeling your right leg press down through the floor to create more strength and stability here. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, circle your arms down, step back to plank, and flow through your vinyasa. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Taking a grounding breath here, inhale. And exhale. And then on your next inhale, reach your left leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bend your left knee in towards your chest and plant it through, setting yourself up for high lunge on the left side. Reaching your fingertips up in space and then lowering your hands to your hips if you'd like to, lifting your frontal hip point up off of your front thigh as you ground down through your left foot. Inhale to reach your arms back up towards the ceiling. And exhale, shifting forward in space, creating a beautiful diagonal line, this time from your right heel, all the way through your fingertips. Navel comes in nice and strong. Press the floor away. And then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, circle your arms around. Step back to plank. We can inhale here. Exhale, shift forward, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, curling your toes, lifting your hips, coming into downward facing dog once again, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a grounding breath here, in through your nose, and out through your nose. And then we'll build on that. So inhale, right leg lifts towards the ceiling. Exhale, bend your right knee in towards your chest, plant it through, come up high lunge on the right side. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, come through your diagonal, reaching forward, pressing your body forward, reaching your left toes in closer to your right foot, or you can try and lift your left heel coming into Warrior 3. Virabhadrasana 3. You can reach your hands forward in space or reach your hands back behind you for airplane arms, reaching your pinkies up towards the ceiling, turning your triceps on. Keeping your gaze down at the floor, imagine your object. Focus on that as you bring your breath in through your nose and out through your nose. And then when you're ready, lower your left hand down directly below your gaze. And on your next inhale, reach your right arm up towards the ceiling, Parivrtta Ardha Chandrasana. Continue reaching your left heel back in space. Your right hand reaches up. Grounding down through your right foot, take an inhale. And exhale. And then on your next inhale, begin to bend into your right knee, lowering your left toes down. And then spiral your left heel as you cartwheel your hands back in space. Viparita Virabhadrasana, Exalted Warrior. So your right knee is bent. Your left hand is reaching down your left thigh. Right hand is reaching back in space. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down towards the floor. Step back to plank. Flow through your vinyasa. On your next exhale, lower down chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, curling your toes, lifting your hips, coming back to downward facing dog. Checking in with your breath. Coming back to your intention, the idea of that object. And we're going to send our focus there on the other side. Release any expectations that you have for yourself on the other side. Just focusing on your breath, where you are in space right now. And then on your next inhale, lift your left leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bend your left knee in towards your chest. Plant your foot in between your hands. come up into high lunge on the left side. We'll spend a brief moment here, bending into your left knee. Navel comes in towards your spine. And then exhale, shifting forward in space, bending into your left knee, coming through your diagonal to bring your right leg forward. And lift up, warrior 3. Virabhadrasana 3. And then if you liked airplane arms on the other side, you can swing your arms down and back, lifting through your pinky fingers, turning on your triceps here, your torso in a beautiful parallel line with the floor. Breathing in through your nose, grounding down through your foot as you exhale. And then when you're ready, lowering your right hand down directly below your gaze. Take an inhale, reaching your left fingertips up in space. Pavarita Ardha Chandrasana on the other side. Rooting down through your left foot. It's okay if you're wobbly. Reaching your right heel back in space. Take another deep breath in. And then exhale, bend into your left knee a lot, lowering your right toes down. Spiral your right heel as you cartwheel your hands. Viparita Virabhadrasana on the left side. Reaching your right hand down towards your back thigh as you reach your left fingertips up in space. Take another deep breath in, and then exhale, cartwheel your hands. Plant them on the floor, step back to plank. Inhale in your plank. Exhale, shift forward, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale, curling your toes, lifting your hips, coming into downward facing dog. We'll take 3 rounds of breath here. Inhale through your nose. And exhale through your nose. That's 1. Inhale, pressing down through the floor. Exhale, lifting your hips up and back. That's 2. 1 more breath. Inhale. And exhale. Great job. Inhale, gaze forward. And then exhale, step, walk, or hop through and come all the way to seated. And then when you're ready, extending your feet forward in space. Adjusting your sit bones. And then go ahead and bend your knees in towards your chest, bringing your toes to the floor. And you can bring your hands to the backs of your legs. We're setting up for Ardha Navasana, or half boat. So we're going to do a little bit of core here. Inhale, reach your hands forward in space if you'd like to. And hug your knees in towards your chest. And then with your inhale, lift your right shin up towards the ceiling so it's parallel with the floor. And hug your right knee in towards your chest. Inhale, lifting up through the crown of your head. And exhale, lowering your right toes. And we'll do that on the other side. Inhale, lift your left shin up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hug your left knee in towards your chest. Inhale, lift up out of your pelvis. And then exhale, lower your toes. We'll do that 2 more times on each side. Inhale, right shin lifts. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, lift up through your pelvis. And exhale, lower your toes. Inhale, left shin lifts. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, lift up through the crown of your head. And exhale, lower your toes. 1 more time each side. Inhale, right shin lifts. Exhale, knee to chest. Navel comes in nice and strong as you inhale to lift. And exhale, lower. 1 more time. Inhale, left shin lifts. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. Take a moment to hug your knees in towards your chest, allowing your forehead to rest on your knees. Just finding a bit of relaxation in your breath. Acknowledging all of the hard work that you just did. And taking a moment for yourself here. And then when you're ready, lifting up through the crown of your head, we'll plant your hands forward of your hips and bring your knees in towards your chest, crossing your ankles one on top of another. And then we're going to do a little bit of a lift if you can. So press down through the floor as you reach your toes forward, and maybe you lift your hips up off the floor. Navel comes in nice and strong. And then exhale, lower your hips, roll over your toes, sending yourself to your tabletop, adjusting to your downward facing dog. Lifting your hips up and back, taking a moment to press down through the floor. And then inhale, gaze forward. And exhale, step, walk, or hop through and come to seated once again. And then when you're ready, extending your feet forward in space, flexing your toes towards you, and then ground your hands on the floor beside your hips for Dandasana, seated staff pose. On your next inhale, lengthen up through the crown of your head. And exhale, send your gaze at your toes, imagining that your object is there as you gently lower your chin towards your chest. Activating your leg muscles, pressing down through the backs of your legs, through your sit bones, lifting up out of your pelvis, creating a nice straight spine all the way from your sacrum to the crown of your head. Allow your elbows to reach back in space. Navel comes in nice and strong. 3 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. That's 2. Last breath, inhale and exhale. On your next inhale, reach your hands forward. And then exhale, gently come forward in space with your hands. You can reach towards your big toes, interlacing your index and middle finger around them. Or you can reach towards the outside of your toes, or you can gently press your hands into your shins, wherever is accessible for you. Wherever you are, take an inhale, lengthen up halfway, reaching the crown of your head towards the ceiling. And then exhale, shifting the crown of your head forward in space, keeping your gaze soft, allowing your arms to relax away from your ears, feeling a gentle activation in your legs, just keeping your leg muscles turned on here. Navel comes in and allowing your torso to fold over your thighs. 3 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. That's 1. Inhale and exhale. 2. Inhale and exhale. 3. 1 more breath. Inhale and exhale. And then when you're ready, take an inhale to lift up halfway, pressing your hands into the floor. And exhale, coming up all the way, shaking your legs out if you need to. And then we'll set up for Purvottanasana, or reverse plank, by bringing the hands 6 to 8 inches behind you. And you can point your toes forward. And if this is not accessible for you, bend your knees and plant your feet on the floor, and we'll send the hips up to reverse tabletop. But if you'd like to try, point your toes forward, lifting your chest up towards the ceiling. And on your next inhale, press into your heels, pressing into your hands, lifting your hips up towards the ceiling, pointing your big toes down towards the floor and letting your head fall back, if that's comfortable for your neck. 3 breaths. Press through the floor. Take an inhale and exhale. Reaching your big toes down towards the floor. Navel is in, nice and strong. Inhale and exhale. 1 more breath. Inhale, lifting your hips up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, slowly coming down with control. Releasing the pose by shaking your legs out if you need to. And then we'll move into the next seated posture, Janushirasana A. So bring your right knee in towards your chest and lower your right knee over to the side, bringing the sole of your right foot to your inner thigh. And then we'll let this be an open Janushirasana, opening into the side body. So you can send your right knee away from your left hip. You're still going to keep your left toes flexed towards the ceiling. And then on your inhale, reach your left hand forward in space, tracing the floor with the back of your palm. And on your next inhale, reach your right arm back, up, and over towards the front of the room, creating a nice side body stretch. Ground down through your sit bones here, nice and strong. Keeping your left toes lifted towards the ceiling. You can take a gaze to see if they're still there. Think about opening up your chest towards the ceiling, broadening in your collarbones, pressing down through your hips. 2 more breaths. Inhale, reaching through your right fingertips. Exhaling here. 1 more deep breath in. Exhale, gaze down towards the floor if you're not there already. And then inhale, circle your right arm up and back, coming out of the pose, and then releasing your right leg straight, shaking it out. And then we're gonna do the other side. I'm gonna turn around, but you don't have to. So bend your left knee in towards your chest, and then lower your left knee over towards this side. Bringing your heel in towards your groin, opening the hips so they're in a diagonal orientation. And then you're gonna flex your right toes and begin tracing your right hand on your mat, reaching your right fingertips forward. And then inhale, reaching your left arm back, up, and over towards the right toes. Opening up into your left side body this time. Pressing down through your hip bones. Reaching through your left fingertips. Opening your chest up towards the ceiling, creating even more of a side body stretch. Taking 3 more breaths. Inhale through your nose. And exhale through your nose. That's 1. Inhale, press down through your sit bones. Exhale. 2. 1 more deep breath in, reaching forward in space with your left fingertips. Exhale, gaze down towards the floor. And then inhale, reach your left arm up and back, coming out of the pose. And if you turn to face the back of your mat, turn around to face forward once again. Bringing your hips towards your heels, come to lie down on your back, lowering down 1 vertebrae at a time. And then we'll come into our back bend practice. You can do bridge pose, or you can do wheel pose if you have that in your practice. Bringing your heels back towards your glutes any amount more. Your feet are hip distance apart or slightly wider. Knees are stacked above your ankles. And if you're coming into bridge, ground down through your hands, reaching your hands down towards your hips. And then on your next inhale, your navel comes in, the pelvic floor comes in and up. And then on your exhale, press up towards the ceiling with your hips and your fingers underneath you. If you do that, come onto the side edges of your arms, pressing down through the floor to lift your chest towards your chin. Ground down through the inside and outside arches of your feet equally. See if you can find your equal balance in this pose. Release your glute muscles here and allow your gaze to come gently towards the ceiling, imagining your object there. 2 more breaths. Inhale, pressing down through the floor. Exhaling here. 1 more breath. Inhale. And exhale. Release your hands, slowly lowering your hips down towards your mat. And then allow your knees to knock in towards each other. Your hands can come to rest on your belly. Gently float your eyes closed. Letting your breath come back to a neutral pace, in and out through your nose. And then gently blinking open your eyes, stacking your knees above your ankles once again. And you can ground your hands down by your hips, or if you'd like to try wheel pose this time, bring your hands by your shoulders so your fingertips are facing your shoulders. And if you've never tried this by yourself, I would recommend doing bridge pose, okay? But if you're coming into wheel, ground down into your hands reaching your elbows towards the ceiling. Bridge pose and wheel. Lift up through your hips first. And then if you're coming into bridge, interlace your fingers and lift up. If you're coming into wheel, press through your hands to lift the crown of your head. Ground the crown of your head down to reset your hand placement, and then gently press up. Keeping your gaze at the floor in between your hands. Ground down through your feet. Releasing your glute muscles, bringing your navel in toward your spine. 2 more breaths. Inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose. 1 more breath. Ground down through your feet, ground down through your hands. Inhale. And then exhale, slowly come down 1 vertebrae at a time, whether you're in bridge or wheel, and let your knees knock in towards each other. Hands can come to your belly. Just releasing into your low back. Feeling a sense of groundedness as your back presses down into the floor. As we prepare for the final back bend of the class. So if you liked wheel and you want to try it again, go ahead and do that. Or you can do your bridge pose for the last back bend of class. But either way, stack your knees above your ankles once again, and either lower your hands by your hips or send your hands by your ears, fingertips facing your shoulders. And then on your next inhale, press down through the floor, reaching your hips up towards the ceiling, bringing your navel in nice and strong, and interlacing your hands underneath you or pressing down through your hands to lift your hips up towards the ceiling, whether it be in bridge pose or Vinyasa. If you're in bridge, you're interlacing your fingers underneath you, coming onto the side edges of your arms, releasing into your glutes. Your belly button reaches up towards the ceiling, your chest to your chin. 2 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. 1 more breath. Inhale, press down through your feet. And exhale, release your hands, release your hips down towards the floor. Knees knocking towards each other. Hands come to rest on your belly. And gently float your eyes closed. Taking a moment here for yourself. Feeling your back body press down into the floor. Letting your breath come back to neutral. And then when you're ready, hugging your knees in towards your chest and give a gentle rock from side to side. And then cross your ankles and roll onto your back, forward and back a few times. And then you're going to come up through seated, roll over your feet, over your toes, coming into your tabletop, pressing your legs back in space into your plank. And we'll do another vinyasa, lower down through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Be gentle with yourself here. And exhale, curling your toes, lifting your hips to downward facing dog. And before we come down towards the floor in our Savasana, we're going to do a little bit of dolphin pose. So when you're ready, lower one forearm down to the floor and then the other. And ensure that your elbows are stacked below your shoulders. And you can press your hands down into the floor so they're extending away from your elbows. Or you can bring your palms together and press down through the side edges of your forearm. Let the top of your head hang heavy, but it's not touching the floor, so you're still lifted. And then lifting through your hip bones, find the length in your spine as if you're doing downward facing dog. And if you need to, bend your knees. Press down through the floor, creating a hollow shape in your armpits. Navel comes in toward your spine. And press the floor away. And you can stay here for 5 breaths, or you can walk your toes in toward your nose. And we'll hold here for 5. Inhale, pressing the floor away. If you need to come down, you can. And exhale. That's 1. 4 more. Inhale and exhale. Strong arms pushing the floor away. Inhale and exhale. That's 3. We only have 2 more. Inhale and exhale. 1 more breath. Make it count. Inhale, press the floor away. And then exhale. Pull apart your knees so they come out wide, lowering your hips down toward your heels. You can send your hands forward or reach your hands back toward your toes, settling into a gentle Vinyasa or child's pose. Release your shoulders down towards the floor, feeling your forehead press down into your mat. Taking a moment to relax here. Inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose. Great job. When you're ready, walk your hands back towards the front of your mat. Curl your toes to lift your hips, coming into your downward dog once again. This is the last one of the class. And then inhale to gaze forward and exhale, step, walk, or hop through and come to your seat once again. And we'll do a forward fold or Paschimottanasana to release the low back. So take an inhale, flexing your toes, reaching through the crown of your head. And then exhale, walking your hands forward in space. You can actually turn your palms to face up towards the ceiling and reach through the crown of your head. Relaxing your shoulders away from your ears. Gently floating your eyes closed if that feels right for you. Feeling the backs of your legs and your sit bones pressing down through the floor as you reach the crown of your head forward in space. 5 more breaths here. Inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. 2 more. Inhale and exhale. Inhale for 1 more breath and exhale. Amazing job. On your next inhale, turn your palms to face down as you lift into a halfway lift. Take an exhale here. And then inhale, walk yourself up to a seat and send your hips forward, lowering down 1 vertebrae at a time until you come to your back. And if you'd like, we can do some windshield wipers with the knees. So pull your feet apart hip distance, and then you can let your hands come out along the floor, whether it's in a T shape or in cactus arms. And then we're going to lower the knees over towards the right and hold for 2 breaths. Inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose. You can turn your gaze over towards your left shoulder. Inhale and exhale. And then we're going to inhale, come back through center. Exhale, lower the knees over towards your left as you gaze towards your right. Inhale and exhale. 1 more breath. Inhale and exhale. And when you're ready, coming back through center, hugging your knees in towards your chest 1 last time, getting into a super tight ball, lifting the forehead towards your knees. Squeeze every single muscle you have in your body if you can. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then exhale, releasing everything down towards the floor, letting your feet flop out to the sides, mat distance apart or slightly wider. Allow your entire back body to rest into your mat. Your palms can turn up towards the ceiling. And gently float your eyes closed, releasing the control of your breath now, just letting it come in and out naturally through your nose as you close your lips, but part your teeth. And feel the sense of peace wash over your body as you take a well-deserved rest. And in a few moments' time, I will reawaken you from your sleep. Svasti Prajabhyaha Paripalyantam Nyayena Margena Mahimahishaha Go Brahmanebhyaha Shubhamastu Nityam Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantau. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Begin to take a slightly deeper breath. And wiggle your fingers and your toes. Circle your ankles and your wrists. And find any other movement that feels right for you in the last few moments that you spend on your back. And then when you feel ready, gently rolling over onto your left side, allowing your head to be supported in your left palm. And just take a moment to rest here. As you bring your awareness back to the physical sensation of your body pressing down into the floor. And then with your eyes still closed and with as little effort as possible, press yourself up to a comfortable seat. And meet me here with your eyes still closed, palms together at heart center, and bowing your head slightly to keep your practice humble. After a while, you can gently close your eyes and try to bring a mental picture of your object of concentration. First, it is outside. Then you try to bring it within the mind. It might come for a while and then you lose it. Again, open the eyes. Slowly learn to grasp it within the mind alone. That means you will be developing that impression in your mind. It is something like in photography. You take a picture, it's there on the film. How do you know whether it's there or not? You develop it. If nothing comes, you have to make another picture. And it's the same with the practice of Tradak. And as you think, so you become. If you think of the rose, the mind will take the form of the rose. After a while, you will easily be able to see it within, without the aid of any physical object outside. And at that stage, you no longer need altars and this and that. You just have your focus and your peace of mind. I invite you back to the intention that you set at the beginning of class today. And silently repeat it one last time. And let it carry you through the rest of your Sunday. I want to thank you for allowing me to guide you through your practice this morning. It was truly an honor to share this virtual space with each and every one of you. I bow to you and say namaste.